Hey everybody! So yes, I know it is Wednesday and this is Talk Tuesday, but my week has been really thrown off because we just came back from Vegas and of course it's the first week of school here, so I figure better late than never. But I'm just gonna get started on doing my makeup with some BB cream. I feel like I have a lot to tell you guys this week. Some good things, some not so fun things. So yeah, I'm just gonna get started. The weather change here has made my nose so sore. It's like, you know, all dried out, but it also feels like really like it's cracking or chapped on the inside. I definitely think it's the weather because we had hot weather for quite a while, and then the last, I don't know, 2 weeks or so, it's like fall hit, and fall hit with a vengeance. And I was hoping it's not for good because I mean we've had really nice like Septembers and even into Octobers, but it's looking pretty dreary outside and my nose does not like it. You guys could see my desk right now. It looks like a bomb went off. There is stuff everywhere. I have not fully unpacked yet from Vegas, which is not like me. I usually do it like the day of or the next day, but I just haven't been feeling well. So everything is kind of everywhere. But that's okay. I can still get my makeup done. All right, where to start? So I want to talk to you guys about how my trip was, but also some health concern stuff in case you're interested. But I figure I will start with Vegas because that is, you know, more positive to listen to than any health stuff. So yes, we went to Las Vegas last Friday afternoon and we came back Sunday night. So it was a very, very quick trip. There was 8 of us going, which is so exciting. Like, how often is it that you can get 8 friends all together? And yeah, we're all like mutual friends. We all know each other and everything like that. So it was just a really good trip. I just realized that I need to get my beauty blender. I'll be right back. All right, so first of all, the flight went really well, which I was concerned about with, you know, all the anxiety I had in the past. I had 0. I was fully ready with my Ativan should I need to take it. So I purposefully didn't drink on the flight in case I needed to take Ativan, and I didn't need to take it at all. And I was totally chill on the flight. There was even some turbulence, which I've never been a fan of, but I was just really proud of myself. I did awesome on the flight. And then we got there, all of our friends flew in on an earlier flight, and then we met them because it was hard enough to find the childcare we did for the weekend because obviously we didn't bring the kids. So we left a bit later. We checked into our hotel. We were at the Flamingo Hotel. I've never stayed at that one before. It was really nice. It had a nice pool. I wouldn't say the rooms were the nicest. Mind you, we didn't upgrade at all, so we had pretty old rooms, but the pool was beautiful. And then Friday we went to a comedy show, like an X-rated comedy show, and actually it was really funny, first of all, but I liked it because it was a really small atmosphere. Like, I thought it was going to be in a bigger coliseum, but there was like, oh, I don't know, 30 or 40 people there, so they actually really interacted with the audience whether you liked it or not, and made fun of you whether you liked it or not. So that was really fun. And then we went to a buffet after that. And then we walked around. The buffets were really good for my gluten-free. The first one we went to was a little odd. He's like, no, we don't have anything here, when I talked to the chef. So we're going to get a refund, and then all of a sudden he came up to us and he's like, oh, well, I don't mean we don't have anything. I mean like 90% of things were gluten-free. I was like, that's kind of a stark contrast. All right, can you show me what there is to eat? So he's like, I'm new here. I'm like, but the rest of the time it was fine. I think we mainly ate at buffets. We did a few takeout places, but they're amazing. You wait a while, but the food is delicious and there's tons of gluten-free options. So yeah, that was good. And then Friday night, what did we do? We just kind of walked around, I think. Stayed up quite late both nights because when you're only there for 2 nights, like, why are you going to waste your time sleeping, in my opinion? So we stayed up quite late. And then Saturday, I have a terrible memory. I don't remember what we did in the morning. Maybe we went for breakfast or something like that, and then we went to the pool party. And like I said, it's a really nice pool. It definitely was a party. You actually had to pay to get into it, even though you were, you know, staying at this hotel, but because it was a Saturday, you still had to pay, which is whatever. And you couldn't bring in anything. You couldn't bring in any snack, any water bottle, anything, which kind of shocked me because, I don't know, they're definitely making their money, I can tell you that. So, but it was so much fun. It was so hot out. It was like 40 degrees pretty much the whole time we were there. It only cooled down to like 32 maybe at nighttime. But I love heat, so yes, that was awesome. And then Saturday night we went out to a club. We went to the one at the Paris called Chateau, which is actually like a rooftop club kind of thing, and I haven't been to a club in a very long time, so that was fun. We all had a great time. Drinks were crazy up there, let me just say. A single highball was $17. So some of my friends got doubles and it was $35 for one drink, which is nuts. So good thing we had done a lot of pre-drinking, so we didn't have to spend too much there, but just crazy. And I was wearing heels. If you guys follow me on Instagram, then you saw what I was wearing. I was wearing heels, and I'm not good in heels. Not only that, they like kill my feet. So by about an hour, because all we did was pretty much dance while we were there, by an hour in, I couldn't handle it anymore. And all the tables were VIP, so there was like nowhere to sit. So I would often just go to the bathroom just so I could get off my feet for a little bit. But we stayed there probably 3 hours or so. And then we came home, had a little room party, and it was just fun. It just reminded me so much of being like back in my, you know, early 20s and hanging out with friends, and oh, I just loved it so much. And then Sunday we went out to eat again, and then we did some shopping, and then we flew home. So yeah, it was a really quick trip, but it was awesome. All right, so now for the medical crap that's been going on the last week and a half or so. Where do we get? So the day before I flew out to Vegas, I got a call from disease control here where I live, and I was like, whoa, why are you calling me? And they let me know that I was exposed to tuberculosis back when I was in the hospital in April, and that I was a high-risk contact person or whatever it's called, and that I had to go be tested. So they booked me in for yesterday morning, also the first day of school, so Harrison had to take that day off because all the kids needed to get to school and I needed to be tested for tuberculosis. Then I have to go back tomorrow to have them look at the results. It's basically they put a thing of liquid under your arm, and then they see how your arm reacts to it, and so far, like, knock on wood, it's not reacting. So that's good, because I definitely don't need that in my life. It's treatable, but it's just another thing. So that is probably the least of my worries at this point. Earlier last week on Monday, I started getting symptoms of a UTI. I think I've had a UTI back when I was a teenager or something, so I remember what it felt like. It feels like when you pee, it burns a lot, and it feels like you constantly have to go, like your bladder's exploding, but there's no pee there. It's a really, really uncomfortable feeling. And it started off pretty mild, and then within a day it became like out of control, crazy. So Wednesday, this is 2 days before I left for Vegas, was it 2 days? Yeah, 2 days. I went to a walk-in clinic, and they sent my urine off for testing or whatever, and put me on an antibiotic, and luckily it was only a 3-day antibiotic, so I'd be off it the day I was flying to Vegas, which I was really excited about because you really shouldn't drink on antibiotics, obviously. Anyways, so she said that she would let me know when the test came back, like everything, this antibiotic should clear it up, but sometimes antibiotics are resilient to whatever virus that you have, so she gave me a call. So while I was in Vegas, am I gonna do, sorry, I'm trying to think if I'm doing like eyeshadow, not eyeshadow. Might do a bit. While I was in Vegas, I started flaring up with my colitis symptoms, which are separate from the UTI. And I can't find brushes anywhere. See, this is what happens when you don't unpack things. You can't find anything. Oh well. I started flaring up, and it was quite painful, and I just assumed it's because I'm approaching my next Remicade treatment, which is next Wednesday, even though it was quite early to be flaring up, because they just bumped me from, I'm all over the place, they just bumped me from 8-week infusions to 6 weeks because I was flaring up early. And this is the 4-week mark, and I was already flaring up, and I'm like, what the heck? So I was dealing with that in Vegas. It was quite painful in the mornings and the evenings, but luckily the rest of the day wasn't too bad. So I was dealing with that, and then the day after I stopped the antibiotics for the UTI symptoms started to come back. Not the way they were, but I could still tell that they were there, and I was like, what the heck? So I just had a feeling. When I got home, I looked up my results, because you can look them up online, and the antibiotic she gave me was resilient, of course, to what I had. So I had to go back in yesterday to the doctor for them to tell me exactly that, and he said, wow, you got a really strong one here. It's E. coli something. I don't know. It's like a super bug of some sort. And he said every single, because there was a list of antibiotics, and it was resilient to every single one except for IV antibiotics, which you have to do in the hospital. I'm like, I'm not going back to the hospital, especially for a UTI. Like, no. And he's like, okay, well, why don't we just keep you on the same one you had, since it seemed to do well for you. I'm like, but if it's resilient, like, isn't it not going to work? And he's like, well, it should be fine. You're otherwise healthy, right? I was like, actually, no. And so, because this is just a walk-in, he doesn't know my history. So I gave him my history and he's like, oh, well, did this antibiotic flare you up? And I was like, you know what? I was flaring up around the time that I was on the antibiotic. I'm still flaring up, but that's what kind of when it started. And he's like, oh dear. He's like, okay, well, there's one more we can try that's an oral antibiotic. So he put me on that. It's for 10 days. And, but my Remicade is in 7 days. And you can't be on antibiotics when you get Remicade. So I contacted the Remicade nurses. I'm telling you guys, this is a long story. And I was like, hey, I'm on antibiotics for 10 days. Is there any chance I can get Remicade now before I start the antibiotics? Because my colitis pain is worse than my UTI pain. And she said, no, you can't get Remicade if you have a current infection. And I'm like, well, crap. So anyways, I had to push my Remicade back a few days, which really sucks because I already need it. So I have a feeling that I'm going to be one of those people, because I think the max you can have Remicade is every 4 weeks. I think I'm going to be one of those people. I just have a feeling. And the antibiotics, I started them yesterday, they're just making everything worse. So I am not feeling too well at all. But hopefully once the antibiotics are done and Remicade is in me again, I'll be feeling a lot better. It honestly really makes me question whether I should just continue on this drug forever or just get rid of my colon, have it removed. I think I might ask her next time I see her to refer me to the doctor that does that, just so I can ask questions about how that really impacts the rest of my life and like what that surgery is like. It's hard to do eyeliner and top, guys. Really hard. And just get some more information, because if it's not that big a deal to get, like, a lot of people have to get rid of their colon usually later in life, but if it's not that big a deal, honestly, I would rather just get rid of it and be off drugs and be pain-free instead of being pain-free for 3 or 4 weeks and then dealing with this for a couple weeks until I get my Remicade. So I don't know. Like I said, I had a lot to update you guys on. Not feeling the greatest, but could be worse. Had a great trip. Luckily, I got to fully enjoy myself during the day and everything. Like, it didn't really impact my trip too much, so I'm forever grateful for that. And the kids did well without us, and they're happy to have us home, and they're back at school. Even though Riley started kindergarten and it's like a gradual entry, so she went for 20 minutes yesterday and an hour today, and it's an hour and a half tomorrow. This goes on for 2 weeks. I'm like, really? She was in preschool. She will be fine. Alright, so I guess that's about it. Sorry that I rambled on and on and on. Like I said, I had a lot to update you guys on, and I hope you're all doing fabulous. I'm still in my pajamas here. This is what my makeup looks like for today, and I hope you guys all have a fabulous week. Thanks for watching. Bye!